So, greetings everyone. We are, as you see, going over a real board video today. And it is a game that has been requested repeatedly by quite a fair number of you. And that is, apparently, good old Shibano Toramaru did play Cho Chikun not too long ago. This was, lean forward and I can read it. This was played on the 28th of October. Apparently a lot of you have already seen it and you've been wanting me to go over it. I confess, I've kind of wanted to go over it as well for a couple of reasons. I'm trying to think about why I want to go over it without actually spoiling it for those of you who haven't seen it yet. Suffice it to say, I will say that you know my opinion regarding the bleep bloops. You know my opinion regarding them bleep bloopers, right? I think you do. I have a hunch that you do. I might have mentioned a time or two that the bleep bloop style, which you are going to see here, is kind of difficult to pull off for numerous reasons. And we are going to see some of those reasons played out professionally. Because it would appear that Cho Chikun, who is black this game, Cho Chikun, who is black today, decides to begin the game with an upper right 3-3 point. So clearly we're going to have a game that will be focusing, let's just say, on a little bit of territory from black, it would appear. The question then becomes, how is white going to play? Is white going to identify that and decide to play 3-4 stones? Taking a territorial game for himself? Probably not, because this is Shibano. Shibano first came to our attention when he was playing influence style. More so than I would say is standard, or let's just say healthy. Again, for those of you who don't remember, he first came to our attention when he began giving up groups of his to blatantly develop the middle of the board. So I would definitely label him more of an influential player. That said, he takes an interesting corner for a 4-4 for himself. He is inviting a diagonal, which I would think would be welcome, given that black is in fact opening up for territory. That makes sense to go diagonal. That way your opponent can't really develop a framework quite so easily. It's fake, secretly a Dosaku game. No, it is not. No, it is not. So, no surprise to anyone, black does in fact take diagonal approach, because this is going to be a territorial game. Will white keep up what he's doing, or will he abandon? So, 4-4 diagonals, but that's kind of nice because it goes against the 3-3 points. The question is, how hard is black going to go for influence or territory play? And he goes all in immediately. Going 3-3, 3-3 into stealing 3-3. At this point, I probably ought to mention that it would appear that this game, Cho Chikun is probably experimenting with the new territorial style of playing. I also confess that I don't really follow a lot of Cho Chikun's games, so I'm not sure if this is something that he's been doing a lot lately or not, or if this is something that he's just lately been experimenting with, or how that's going. But, alright, we've got an interesting opening here. Pros always invite the diagonal? Not always, which is why it's interesting when you find a pro game that did not invite the diagonal. White ignores and says, I do not care about this stone, I'm going to go over there. But it kind of makes me uncomfortable to do this, to be honest. Because right now, on the board, we would say that we don't know what order the moves came from, but it's possible that black took a 3-3 and white approached, and then black took a 3-3 and white approached, and then black took a 3-3 and then white took a corner. Like, you don't really know what order the moves came in. So it doesn't feel very severe. Because it feels equal to ignore this and play over here. It feels a bit equal. But alright. Black has to decide what he wants to do. Is he going to follow up down here? Is he going to follow up over there? He follows up over here. White extends, following Joe Seki. Good old Joe, man. He has made more Seki than you would believe. Good old Joe. Not sure what happened to him. Again, same thing. We're going to turn simply. Taking our points in that there corner. Now, we could Hane here, but why aren't we? Does anyone know why we're not going to Hane there? Can anyone tell me why we are not Hane there? White doesn't play it, so there's got to be a reason not to, right? Who can tell me why ladder doesn't work? Well, yeah, if we were to cut now and we get Atari, then we can go diagonally across the board, and that turns into a problem. That is certainly true. That is certainly true. To be honest, even if we didn't have the ladder here, we probably still wouldn't, because the clamp can get pretty awkward pretty quickly. Because if you drop down, you're going to get cut, and then 2 of your stones just died. You cannot play this in a way that saves everything, right? If we play here into the cut, so you can see it, you can visualize it better. If white plays here, then you can save. But you're going to be giving a huge wall away, right? I suppose you don't have to give up your stones, but you're not going to be very happy saving them. I guess we should just call it, we should just leave it at that. Other things to consider is things like this are going to be Sente now. This is now an over Joseki that you need to like do something with. So you're just giving up Sente for a nice strong position for your opponent and Sente, which is kind of, don't like that quite so much. We can play here on the other hand, and it kind of feels like black still owes a move, which is nice. So I don't think black really wants you to play here right now. So that's kind of cool. And in fact, when black plays another move, white says, forget you, that's slow. And he plays over here. And again, just to show that, if he doesn't play here and he plays here and loses Sente, and the opponent gets to play this one, then he's getting development over here, white is, and potential possibility of development over here, which is great, as well as, you know, center stuff, because the corner's been completely enclosed. So when black plays here, you could play another move, but we've got Mii for black to come out. So we're probably not going to be responding to that one, and then your opponent will play elsewhere. That is what is going on in Izikoner. So, alright. Said we're playing here. Black has to extend because we don't want to give up the corner. That would be weird. Very, very weird indeed. Once again, I do want to point out something interesting. And that is... And I feel compelled to point this out every time we see it, and we're going to be seeing it for a lot. So if I'm sounding like a broken record, that's just going to keep on repeating. But the reason why we are not blocking in this direction just goes back down to Joseki. Unfortunately, it's Joseki. If we play here, we get this really, really awkward... we get this really, really awkward sequence. Take a few stones here real quick. Take this really, really awkward sequence where we play here, here, oops, wrong color, here, here, and then the throw-in is currently Joseki, right? Now the problem with that is black doesn't have to take, black can play here. And at that point we can play this one, we take there, we go back in Atari, we connect. Looks kind of weird for black's position until you realize white still has this move. So black gets to cut, then we connect. At which point we have to come out. That has to be defended. And then last but not least, we can play another move over here as black. At which point these stones don't really look like they're going to work well with this one. But if we shift this to the other variation, then this wall, or to this other block, then this wall is facing these stones, so it makes sense. The stones would all be working nicely together. It's really weird that that's a thing right now, but it is in fact a thing right now, so yeah. Ordinarily, we would used to teach blocking this way, but now if you know the Joseki, or sorry, we teach this way, but now if you know the Joseki, then we kind of tend to block this way instead. Counterintuitive, but it's okay. So black extends like so. And then sure enough, we're going to see similar to what I just showed, only in a different direction. I say similar because not exactly. We do have the Hane here. And the Hane here. So it looks like it's doing a thing. But when white throws in for that Joseki, black decides to Atari instead, which is still okay, because it allows black or white to play this Atari, and then after we take the white stone, like so, white stone, upper left, yes. After we take the white stone, we can go back and connect, and this are still working nicely together. In fact, we could get a chance to play here as well. And if we get a good large move here in endgame, or maybe even mid-game depending, then black only makes 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 points in the corner. Can white make more than 6 points with this outside? Yes, absolutely, which is why usually the other variation that I showed is played, where black does not Atari this and instead comes on out, because that way he makes more territory and he has potential to still build stuff. But black chose this particular variation instead. Alright, cool. So black played this variation instead. Now it does give him Sente, which he then uses to play here. My sleeve hit the stones, unfortunate. And now white has a decision that he has to make. Because we could get in to a fight here. But anytime you pick a fight, you don't really know who's actually getting Sente from that fight, and you can't really predict exactly how it's going to go, because there are multiple variations. Is your opponent going to descend? Is he going to extend? Is he going to jump? What's going to happen there? You're not really sure, right? So white says, I'm going to use Sente to get in a big move right now because, you know, I just got some territory, or some influence, right? So I'm going to take a large extension for myself because I want to use the influence. Makes all the sense in the world, right? Rather than play over here. Black responds rather than get, like, double approached or something. Because at this point, if we lose potential on this side of the board, and we only have, like, 6 points here, then all of the rest of the game is going to be about invading and doing something in the upper left-hand corner. Which would kind of feel really awkward for black. So we're not going to do that. So, we play here. White says, pokey, pokey, poke. And black says, connect. And white says, pokey, pokey, poke. Threatening, of course, to Hane and steal the corner. That'd be huge. And black descends, allowing white to take this wonderful little extension here. Now, this is being used nicely. There's still an open corner. And, believe it or not, we could even do something like extend over here later. Right? Lots we can do. And therein lies the trouble. Like, I think Cho Chikun is very, very brave for playing this style against Shibano. Because you know Shibano wants influence. And he played in such a way that he's allowing his opponent to get as much influence as he wanted. And therein lies a great lesson. Because we're going to see a nice, clear example of how this modern stuff is very, very difficult, even for professionals to juggle with. Because we can already tell from the territory and from what black has been given just from a Joseki in one corner because of the early 3-3 invasion, that a lot of this game is going to be about invasion, right? You cannot let your opponent have even this for territory because black doesn't have that same profit anywhere on the board. So what are we going to do about this? We can't let him have this or we're going to lose. Period. End of story. This, and this do not equal this. Let alone Komi, potential extra corner, and, you know, whatever expansion we're going to see out of white later. Right? So we're going to be seeing, make no mistake, we'll be seeing a lot of invasion this game. So, black approaches, because sure enough, he knows the danger of just playing an invasion game. Like, if you drop what you're doing right now and just invade, you're probably going to lose the game. Like, 100% of the time. This kind of goes back to the basic video I released on Friday, where building trumped invasions. Like, I played, what was an OGS Wondon, that was just, like, all about the invasion. But then he wasn't about building, so it wasn't about getting points. So, you're working really, really, really hard to take away territory. But if you're not getting anything, you're still losing. You're fighting a losing battle. So, this makes perfect sense. We're going to do something here. Unfortunately, what we're doing is still territory-based. So, we see the attachment. And then we see another Joseki. That man, Joe, he gets around, you know? Now, I see this a lot from people. And by people, I'm going to say cues. And it's something that you probably don't want to play in your games. Just about ever. Because what you are doing, if you Atari from that way, thinking to yourself, ooh la la, look at the territory I'm getting. Well, the problem here is you are now second line at best. Right? That corner is worth second line, and now if you thought you were being more severe against your opponent, he just killed off one of your stones and he's getting more influence into the middle of the board in exchange for second line territory? What? What? That's not good. So don't do that. I know none of you would. But if there's one person out there, who is tempted to play that way, I'm just saying don't. Just saying don't. That's all. If there's one person who might be out there, just don't do it. That's all I'm saying. So we go there. Then we connect and allow our opponent the option of going into our corner. But black says, I do not want a corner. I want to come out. And white's like, alright, I want Sentai. So black plays like so. Black plays here now, sorry. Could go further, but then there's like a deeper poke being left behind. So that could be an issue. Anywho, white now has Sentai. And I think we can all guess where the next move is. Sorry, I was cleaning a single piece of something off a stone. And I ruined the rest of them. It was triggering me. What can I say? But while I'm fixing these stones, anyone have any idea where next move should be? Anyone have any idea? White's move. Where's big move on this board? Where's big move on this board? I think there are two of them. So I think you guys have like, I'm going to say maybe 50% chance of getting this right. Because I believe in you. Or at least the area. Right. What do you think? R5. R5. Wait, R5 is like... Wait. Oh, R5 is a turn. Ooh, that's aggressive. Mr. Pickard. Is that R5? Really? Okay, so we don't do R5 because that's going to be painful. There's no base here for us, and now those 3 stones have been committed to, so we have to defend them. The question is, how are we going to defend them? Are we going to do this? We might. But it's not looking very good. It's looking like black's about to get that top, and we don't know what's going on with those stones. So, no to that move. What else we got? We've got 06 R8. What's 06 and R8? 06 is... Oh, I think was that a... Am I right in assuming it was that move? Table-y shape. Not bad. And what was the other one? The other one was R8. Ooh, R8 is a much better one. Yeah, it's actually close to actual. Simple 2-space extension. It's growing off the influence. Like I mentioned, we can't be allowed to keep all this. So it makes perfect sense to do that. I do like that Mr. Pickard suggested this move, though, because it does seem like the turn can be kind of cool, but it's good to see the danger as to why we don't want to play there. And now that we have established that our opponent cannot be allowed to keep all of this, here comes the hard part of this entire bloody strategy of going into heavy territory and giving your opponent all that influence. We have to take it away. We can't be allowed to do it. So, I love how patient this move is. It's saying, I can just connect here if I need to. Right? And it's also saying, if you drop in there, I'm probably going to hit you so hard you're not going to know what's going to happen. Pow, pow, pow. Can I even live at that point? I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Also, it further reduces the corner because this is going to be Sente, right? So now this is only worth 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which also means this is going to be Sente for later as well. That's a very uncomfortable corner. Oh man, that corner sucks. That corner is terrible, let's just face it. That corner is garbage. So, we Atari the stone. Okay. Connecting is Gote, we're alive. Maybe we take it later, in which case we get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. Which is a lot more than the 4 that we had previously. And then, also, this might not actually be Sente later on. So, we take a large endgame. Because taking away this 1 point from being Sente means it's not worth very much, which means chances are good that Black's going to get it in Sente later on, which further means that this is going to be a reduction on your opponent's whatever's over here. And that is the last time I want to talk about a move in regards to its endgame. I don't like endgame. I like fighting. Let's watch things die. That's what you come to see, right? But yeah, this is actually arguably really big for endgame and stuff. And I did want to point out why. Not that, Cho Chikun was drinking and he's like, I'm going to respond to all the things when you probably think he's supposed to be responding here. That's why he's responding here. So, it's a thing. But it is Gote. And Gote means time to attack. Bonesaw Baduk says endgame is for players so bad they weren't able to win before. That's my motto. Exactly. Bonesaw gets it. Imagine agreeing with a good old... Wait. Yeah, imagine agreeing with Bonesaw. Alright, so Black has to try to come out. Going to disrupt shape. Because you don't want your opponent just dropping down here. At that point, that's like an eye already. So can't let that happen, right? So we're going to push. Pushy. Pushy for the Tigray. Punty, pokey. So we're going to pokey. Just like so. Our opponent's going to connect. Just like so. That right there is a really heavy shape. I'm not sure if that 9p is going to be enough to carry these heavy moves, man. Because here we go. This, in a nutshell, is a perfect example of why I don't like the new style. Because, you're going to reduce. You might even live. But it's whack-a-mole. You just got rid of this crap, but it's literally being redeveloped over here now. And you can't drop what you're doing now to reduce that, otherwise this is going to die. So this is a really cool example of how difficult it is to use this new stuff. And how badly it can go wrong for even a professional 9-dan, a legendary professional 9-dan like Cho Chikun. So, here we go. We're using all the tricks to get ourselves enough Aji to not be dead. Connecting. We've created a lot of cutting points. Chances are your opponent cannot kill you if you create a lot of Aji. Them's generally the rules. Alright. White came back. Nice. Black says, I'm outie. Can't push through and cut, otherwise you're in trouble. White extends. Black plays the honey. Because again, he's just trying not to be dead right now. That's as far as this is going. It's just a game of I don't want to die. Black extends. And I love that we are not playing a game of Puppy Go. Because this move right here is so tempting to respond to. Because it's threatening to cut through. And on the surface, that seems really, really big. However, this is still in trouble. So white cuts and says, are you really going to do that? Because if I Atari through this, this is dead. Right? So no Puppy Go here. White calls him on his questionable play. And then just gobbles the stones up. Black now has to cut because we are still in the process of trying to not die. White says, I think I'm killing myself a legend. Extends. Keeps the stones dead. Asks if he can poke through. White says, "Niet." Going on down. Not enough Aji there. We have to turn and get out. Thus allowing us to ensure that those stones are nicely captured. Nicely captured indeed. Extends up, threatening to capture the two stones. White says, nope. Can't have them, not yours. Black says, pretty please. And white says, nope. Can't have them, not yours. But it does buy black enough time to escape with this move. So he is finally out. There's some Aji left behind and he's out. He did, unfortunately, have to give up some points. He has a weak group still, but he is out. And that is a good thing. All right, Sue. It is now White's move. The question there is, what is big? Anyway, C11 you say. What is C11? C11 is... Interesting choice. You've got the right idea. This group is in fact connected, but there are still ways to use it to your advantage. You are actually quite correct in that regard. And white starts with a poke, simple poke. Can I cut through? Because we can profit here, keep in mind. This area is absolutely available for profiting, as well as the middle. So that's cool. So we get this one in first. Especially since we're about to attack these middle stones. Like, you know that's coming. So it stands to reason that it makes sense to lean on this a little bit to get whatever extra strength you can before you pick the fight. So here we go. Pick and fight, pick and fight, pick and fight. Black says, that is an elephant eye. And white says, yup. And black says, I can come out. And white says, yup. Because this group and this group are two different conversations. Keep yourself strong, keep them disconnected, and good things happen to you. And now check how awesome these moves are. Black comes in, and white's just like, meh. Meh. Is there enough room here to live? With 2 eyes? Like, what are you gonna do? Play here? That's not life. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Probably not a lot. Probably not a lot. That's for sure. Don't know what you're gonna do, but probably not a lot. There is if they're playing against me. No. White's like Hana Naoki? No! White's like Shibano Toramaru. Don't mind me, just trying to live. It's like, okay. You can try to live. That's cool. Welcome to Basics Day, where we don't give a flying frack nugget what you're doing. It's like, yeah, that shape's uncomfortable. White's trying to come out, or black's trying to come out. And White's just like, hey, look at that. Okay, well, that's profit. Carry on. And Black says, I'm making sheep. And White's like, yes, you are. Look at all that sheep you're making. Protecting my shapus. And then White's like, I'm just not doing anything here. Just kind of poking your shape. At this point, this is a connection. And there's not enough space in here for 2 eyes. That's literally 4 points. Maybe a 5-point eye space. And a 5-point eye space, you can easily stop that from living, right? Easy peasy. So extends up. And White turns, getting in his large moves. It's also devious. It is devious, chat. Because that cut point exists. But if we take it now, we'd sacrifice that off, cutting off this group from ever being able to do anything, and then we would just throw in there and kill it. Be like, I guess you dead. So this is a devious move right here. It's like, yes, look at the shiny cutting point. Think of the 4th and 5th line territory you'll get if you take it. It can be yours right now. All you have to do is play it. But clearly he ain't gonna do that. Looking for an eye? No. Looking for a G? Can I connect? Says Black. Can you die in a fire? Asks White. It's like, okay, fine, I'll leave then. You're not letting me just roll over and, you know, live easy. So we're going to protect. But Black decides to save. I guess it does put pressure here. Okay, makes some sense. Forces this move out of White to defend his cutting point. But now all Black can do is poke at the cutting point. He never actually gets to take it for himself. So that's kind of a big move to not be able to get in, right? I mean, Black's not dying, but, you know, who cares? It's fine. We're getting some of those large moves in for ourselves. It's good. Got ourselves some shape. Encloses the corner completely. Nice, easy peasy. Nice and basic. Could not be any more basic if want. I do want to point out also, later on, White has a really huge endgame move of that Hane. Taking that territory for himself. There's no counter to it for black. It just works. Taking it away is gote, so that's also cool. So white right now has this at the very least, potentially this, plus Comey, plus some points here. He's not doing too bad, because black really hasn't made very much after, like, the corner stuff, right? That's usually what happens when you do the 3-3. Like, you're guaranteed some quick, easy territory, but it's hard to make any after that, you know? So, okay. Let's see. This was from, check the date since you asked. This was from the 28th of Octubre. So not quite this week. Almost a month old. But you guys have been asking for it on here, on YouTube, everywhere. I even had someone request it on Instagram. Taken away. Getting some points. Ooh, that's cute. It's a cute move. It's a cute move. It forces this to work now. If black plays elsewhere, push, block, and then the cut forces these two stones to die. Because if you take it, then we Atari take extend up. Only 2 liberties here left, then these stones die. So that Hane is pretty big. Which means we play here for maximum territory. And white, once again, is just like, alright, I'm making shape and undercutting the crap out of you. So black says, I take large point. To be fair, I would not be comfortable taking that point for myself. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to play here again because my opponent's taking a large move and then I'm going to lose an endgame. But Shibano doesn't do that kind of stuff. Taking large point. Taking large point away. Also forcing because, you know, throw in after this equals kill. Forced move. Oops. White's turn. Bonk. 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 Whoops. There we go. Into Atari. Into push, push, push. Into block, block, block. Into take, take, take. Alrighty then. Now from this, we have forced our opponent to respond because let's see, doot, yeah. That's classic. I do believe everyone would agree. Has to be careful about that. Even if you don't want to play that, the throw in, even this is dangerous because if you Hane, then that's a ko. So that's a thing. And if you connect, there's an Atari. So that's a thing. Essentially, you can pretty much get this right no matter where you play. Long story short. If you play here as a response, you just push in, there's a connection, throw in, dead again. So yeah, lots of ways to kill that. So that was Sente. Just taking some territory for ourselves because white's pretty happy with his points right now. We've got no points over here for black. No points over here for black. Very few, probably no points over here for black because we can probably still do reduction thingies. This is the largest source of his territory, very likely. Now it's undercut. Okay. This is actually pretty reasonable defense against what I just mentioned. But rather than just connect passively underneath, he pokes. Tari. And cut. This is a little odd, I have to say. I would be a little uncomfortable with this, because we are going to get cut off, but we're connected still. So it's fairly large. So, Atari. Connect. Trying to disconnect these two stones. White extends down. Black then goes back and cuts. Unfortunately, that is a very lovely connection. Hane we cut, extend we hane, extend we extend. So that's a connection. So we take, like so, and that turns into a little bit of a capture race. That's a little uncomfortable right there, I admit. I think this is an interesting suggestion too. Like, he's threatening to go back and cut off the two stones, but he doesn't really care right now because he can still potentially come out. So he asks, can I come out? Black says, no. No, you can't. You are staying in. This is a capture race and you're going to die. So we see if that's actually true. We see if it's actually true, and instead of cutting, we clamp because it accomplishes much the same thing. Isn't it Black's turn? Question mark? Are you suggesting that I've left off a move? It's entirely possible, as I've been going over variations. I don't think so. Because we went there, and then after this move, whoops. After this move, we had the attachment over there. I don't think I skipped anything. Oh, you were showing a Tanuki variation. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Sorry. Didn't mean to miss your comment while I was showing a variation. So we poke here, and we go into connect. And we go into... We're not really able to go into any kind of ko because we play here. There's a double Atari into capturing this. So we have to connect. Oh, sorry. Wrong connection. My bad. That'd be stupid. Right. There first. There we go. Into extension to probe at the cutting points. There we go. Throws in. And then stops that from being a thing. That's an Atari, so it's a thing again. But now what do? We have to go back and connect. White gets to cut. And from there, there's nothing you can do. You're just dead. You don't have the liberties to go back and kill this because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in order to capture. This has 3. If you connect, it's going to respond 1, 2, 3. You just can't get up. You're 1 down.